name's Nina Ryan, and please welcome Carmel Cox, a Director of Customer Success.
Thank you all for having me. So Carmel Cox, as Nina said, Director of Customer Success. But as you'll see, my journey is kind of not where I started, and it's certainly not exactly my job title or in terms of what I do day to day. So about me, I was born in Ireland. I moved here in about 2007. I have a degree in business and management from the Dublin Business School. I worked for Microsoft for 17 years, and they had an education centre where they trained all of their employees on whatever basically you wanted, whether it was, in my case, Office, Publisher Access, Web Design, Project Management, and Time Management. So I'm certified in all of them to a Microsoft standard. It wasn't a plan. I didn't plan to get into tech. They were hiring a lot of people, so I applied, and I got a job as a production assistant. Now, that was basically packing boxes, right? But the pay was good, which was the only thing that was really important to me at the time. And it was a steady job, right? Which was very scarce at the time. But I realized throughout a very short time period there that there was a lot of opportunity for me. And so I could explore. I could decide, what do I want to do in life? I don't just want to be packing boxes, right? I want to try things. So all of these here are all of my jobs that I had in Microsoft. I was a trainer. I actually got an opportunity to go to Japan to train. After that, I moved into customer service, where I worked with our distributors of our product within Europe. But really, when I went into QA and product services, that's where I found my passion. I realized I liked process. I liked controlling the start to the end. In QA, I wrote a lot of procedures and documents about the process and what you should do, what you shouldn't do. I'm very detailed orientated, so that was really an element that I was really enjoyed. Product services, what that is most manufacturing or operation centers will have a product service, and they're the people who will do prototypes of the product. So I was able to go to a vendor and say, we're building this product, we're doing this. How do we manufacture it? I would get samples of everything and I would build it and make it look how it's supposed to look before we put it to the customer. One of my favorite times there was, one of the products I had to do was Xbox. It was the first time Xbox was released. We had to find a manufacturer that would build a console, right? That was a new thing. It was an expensive process. So we did a batch run of 100 products. Somewhere in the middle of all of that, I decided I needed to go and get an education. I needed to go and get a degree. Microsoft paid for my education because it was relatable to the job I was doing. And so I was very lucky. But that's when I became a product manager, and which is pretty much a lot of what I do today. Even though my title is Director of Customer Success, product management is probably my main role in what I do today. You're responsible from the conception of the product to when it's released to a client. Working with marketing for marketing materials, working with the vendors for producing the product, shipping, and all of that. So from conception to end, and that's pretty much what product management is. Today I work for a company called JobSpeaker Inc. And it is a very small startup tech company. Like I said, my title is Customer Success. However, this is everything I do in a day at my startup. Because in a startup, you have to wear many hats. We have a full-time staff of 7 people. But we do have external vendors that we use. Because you're working for a small company, you need to be flexible. I manage a team of people who are dealing with our clients' issues and problems on a day-to-day basis. I also do a lot of account management. And account management is where I deal with the decision makers within the institution. The software we sell is for career service centers within community colleges, 4-year colleges, that type of thing. I can say, hey, you have this product and it's great, but guess what? We have this new module, or we can, make this a better experience for you. Product management is just what I said before. I work with our clients to figure out what it is that they want. I work with our development team to make sure that they understand. I do a lot of spec writing, which is basically writing very detailed documentation about how the product needs to go. Because, as it is, they have to write the code, so they have to know what it looks like, what the action is, but they also have to figure out what other action they have to make it all happen, right? And I'm dyslexic, by the way, so things I do are actually very difficult for me. Software testing, I do on a daily basis. Everything has to be tested at many levels before we release it to production, which is where our clients will then be able to see it. So I do that 2-3 times a week. Product design, I work with my boss, who's the president of the company. I've actually known him for a long, long time. And we sit down and we talk about, okay, we have this product, but how do we make it grow, right? Because it can't just stand like this. It's going to get old very quickly. Everything in technology is pretty much out of date the day it's released, right? So we talk about strategy as sales and marketing. I go to conferences all the time. I know some of you probably have been to conferences where you've gone and you had your booth and you're selling your product. I do that on a regular basis. I try and I demonstrate my product. I talk again to those decision makers, trying to get them to sign the contract, basically. And I do a lot of networking at those events. I take clients to dinner. I'll go to events where I know there's people there that I can talk to, and just networking, basically. What I mostly do is implementation of our product and training. So the implementation of our product, when we get a new client, there's a whole process, right? I create their website, I create their URL, I brand their website. A lot of my time is spent implementing and training, and I train our clients on what they're doing, how to use their system. I work with students a lot in colleges. Even though my title is Director of Customer Success, this is the kind of stuff I do. And all of the things I do here, the foundation for it, I learned at Microsoft, right? I explored so much in there, trying all these different jobs, these different roles, just trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And it led me here. If you ever do get an opportunity to explore when you're in the workforce, take it. You might not like it, but at least you can check it off your box and go, for me, passion directly relates to something I'm good at, right? I enjoy my job because I know I'm good at it. If I'm not good at something, I'm not so happy. I'm stressed. Try and find something that you're good at, and never be scared to explore something different. This is just a sample of the type of data that I analyze every day. I do a lot of data analytics as well, as part of my job. This is labor market data that is taken from a company called Burning Glass, as well as the state, right? So there's a lot of data out there to help the state, to help the employers, to help the colleges, to make changes and decisions based on the type of employees and what type of jobs they're looking for and what the expectations are for. And what this tells me here is, this is a labor market data for a product manager. So this is just basically the type of level of education that they're going to be looking for. You need to be able to have either a bachelor's or associate. It's not a job where you go in and you turn on your computer and you do your job and you go home, right? This level, you're going to be very involved in every step of the way. These are the skills that they will be looking for. And you can see critical thinking, active listening, coordination, reading comprehension, and time management. All of those skills there, technology is everywhere today. If you are working in Irvine Water District, you're going to be facing technology. If you're working in Amazon, as I said, packing those boxes, you have technology. So no matter what, you don't have to work in the tech industry to be tech savvy. You need to be tech savvy in where we live today, or how we live today. But and technology also, it's a vast career. It's not just programmers, it's not just web designers. There is so much more in it that isn't necessarily coding. Okay, innovation. How I perceive this is, an example, a client will come to me and go, there's an issue with the system, I can't do XYZ. And I go, okay, I know it's going to take a week for my developer to fix that bug or figure it out. So I have to find a way to work around that for my clients so that they can do it. But so innovation is just trying to find the solution to the problem. Innovation is in every job you do, whether it is you're working in a tech industry, whether you're working in as a nurse or even childcare. It doesn't really matter what you're working in. You will constantly be problem solving and finding solutions and ways to do things better. Design again is another. You can design the infrastructure of a system, right? That isn't necessarily the most glamorous thing, but by designing it, you're thinking about the steps, you're thinking about the functionality, you're thinking about the end product and how that user or what industry is that going to sit in. So again, it's something that is in everything that you do. And entrepreneurship. So I'll tell you a story about the company I work for today. And I think this is a great story to kind of understand what entrepreneurship means. My boss, I've known him, we went to college together. In 2009, he's been in the tech industry ever since he left college. In 2009, he got laid off from his job. And so he decided to create this system for his job search, his personal job search. He was going to create a system that he could filter by skills. He started to think, this is something I could develop into something bigger. This is something I could develop and put into the world like Monster or Indeed.com. But is there any questions or do you want me to go over anything that I talked about? Yes.
But with having to do such a variety of different tasks, how do you manage and balance all of it?
A very good project management tool, okay? That's the key. You have to have time management. There's key skills there that will help. And just be organized, and that's something you will develop over time. There's no right or wrong system. Every morning I handwrite a list of everything I want to achieve today, everything I want to do, and the next day's list starts off with whatever I didn't get to do yesterday, and on thing.
You do so many different jobs under your one title. Would you rather be doing all those different kind of jobs, or would you rather focus on one thing?
It's a very good question, actually. There are days I wish I just could focus on one thing. But I do feel very privileged being able to be in a position where I can, I have the autonomy to make decisions and change the course of what I'm doing. Overall, I enjoy the variety. My brain, I'm not one to just sit down and focus. I need to do things. I'm very much a visual learner, a hands-on learner, and being able to do different things and refocus on something else kind of works for me. It doesn't work for everybody, but it works for me. You guys know about LinkedIn Learning? They're great tools for learning different things, right? You can do videos and that type of thing on anything you're interested in. There's a lot of career exploration tools out there. You can just type in something, technology, and it'll bring you back information about what type of roles, what does technology mean? Like, what can I do? How can I pursue this? It'll give you information like that labor market data I was showing you. What companies are hiring. Career exploration is a valuable tool for high schoolers, I think, because we never really know. We think we know, but we never really know, So, yes?
Because you analyze a lot of the job market, what kind of skills should a student who's entering the workforce put on their resume to attract more employers?
Okay. So I work a lot with employers today and trying to get an understanding of what they want, right? Things have changed, right? Years ago, people were joining a company, they were staying there 17 years in my case. Now, there's a lot more movement. Employers want skilled people. They want for an employee to hit the ground running effectively as much as possible. And the reason why is because they know that if they spend a 6 months training them, 6 months' time, they're moving on somewhere else, right? So they want skills that are transferable, obviously, and that is definitely critical thinking, right? You're going to use that everywhere. Time management, they're the things. But things like communication, your verbal communication and your written communication are very, very important. Particularly written communication, because emails can come across in many different ways, depending on whether you put that comma there or not.
Thank you, Mom. Can we all give her a round of applause? She did great.